Hey everybody, welcome to TradeScope. My name is Luis Garcia and I am a part-time trader. This is my weekly recap where I talk about all the stocks that I've been trading and watching this past week. Before I get started, I have to let you know that this video is for educational purposes only and is not meant to be taken as financial advice. Okay, so this week, another slow week. I know I haven't been trading much lately, but I did go through my scanners and kind of check to see what was popular this week. Something that caught my eye was this NIVF, New Gen IVF. I'm guessing it's a IVF type biomed stock, mainly because they are in the biomed industry for like family planning. So looks like the news that came out on Tuesday now was New Gen announces planned $30 million strategic investment in Solana digital asset staking. Bangkok, so I guess this is where they're Bangkok is, it might be where they're stationed. A comprehensive fertility services provider in Asia helping couples and individuals obtain access to fertility treatments today announced plans to invest US $30 million in staking the digital asset Solana, marking a substantial expansion of the company's digital asset investment strategy. The investment will be funded through existing credit facilities of $26 million and $100 million with ATW and White Line, respectively. Okay, Solana is recognized as one of the leading blockchain platforms. So they're investing in blockchain. Got it. Seems to be a trend, I see. GameStop did it. I think there's talks of the U.S. backing some of its treasury in Bitcoin. So there seems to be a trend in the market. Okay, backing some of their stuff in crypto. All right, so I won't bore you guys with the rest of the news, but that seems to be the bulk of it. So as you could see, Monday night, they were as down as low as under $2, a low of $1.50. And after that news, they shot up all the way to $6.08 pre-market. They did this little W pattern. Let me get my doodle pen out. I'll change the color and the boldness. So they did this little W pattern, could not break it out. Instead, they sold off and never recovered. Potentially something to keep the eyes on, though. I know it's sold off substantially since then. Kind of hit that high of $6. Let's look at it on the daily chart. So on the daily, what does this look like? So yeah, it's sold off all the way back down to $2. Potentially due for a little bit of a dead cat bounce, maybe. Its previous high, looking left, was, let's get my crosshair out to see what the date was on that. May 6th, hit a high of $5, $4.96. A couple days before that, $4.80, and then looking left, a high of $5.39 on 4/4, and before that a high of $14.80. Wow, on 4/3. So that is potentially where it could go if it breaks $6 again. So something to put on the watch list for a potential future breakout. Nothing right now, obviously. But yeah, I wanted to go over that one because it kind of caught my eye from Tuesday. Interesting story with them using Solana to kind of back their business, right? It's strategically positioning to harness the power of a platform that is shaping the future of decentralized technology, offering immense potential for growth and innovation. All right, with that said, I do want to go over some of my holdings. So let's start with GME. You guys were watching me live pretty much when I made my investment right at the top, $35.80. I made it right at the top. It sold off. Get my doodle pen out again. Sold off for the past week or so. Doesn't look like it's slated for a recovery anytime soon. You could see the MACD has kind of flipped over. You know, potentially we can get something going higher again, but not a lot of volume. This was pretty much the same news, right? They announced that they were investing in Bitcoin. They bought like $5 million worth of Bitcoin, something like that. You know, and then with GameStop, they have daily news here and there. But that was pretty much the play. It looks like it was a sell the news moment, and I mistimed that entry. But all in all, I'm holding it because I think it's a good long-term hold. I got an average about 35.81, 35.80. I might average down on that when I get some capital freed up. Just because looking at this chart, I mean, let's take a look at the weekly chart so we can kind of see what I'm talking about. So weekly chart, last time, this was last year. Get the crosshair out. Last year it went to $48. Well, first of all, let's just see. So it broke 2 weeks ago. It broke the $35 mark, right? Which is kind of, it's tested that twice already, right? Really 3 times if you come all the way back to here. This was June of last year. So here we are, June of this year, right? And we're breaking out again, potentially. So next high looking left, breaks 35 again, we're looking at 48. Breaks that, we're looking at what, 60, 65. So some interesting levels to pay attention to here, right? This thing is still pretty heavily shorted. Look into the ETF swap stuff. I won't go into that. Maybe I'll do a video in the future about like the ETF swaps with costs and some other, and like Chewy and some of these other meme stocks like AMC. Bed Bath Beyond used to be one of them. I think it's no longer trading publicly, but anyways, so this is on the watch list. It's already broken that 200. Maybe it'll come back down and test that. Maybe a good time to buy up some more shares. But the play here is really a break back up toward this 48 level. See if it can hit that. That gives quite a nice cushion of profit. And speaking of averaging down on this, when I have some funds opened up, let's talk about what could potentially open up those funds for me. So that would be SYM. So as you guys know, I've been in this for a while. Here's this very long-term downtrend on the stock. Started back in July of 23, hit a high of $64.14. Pretty much a double bottom right there. That's an interesting look, right? See if I can get some. I'll use the doodle again. Double bottom there, and a bottom there, right? So yeah, this thing's looking pretty interesting technically on a long-term perspective. So we have this trend line. It's broken above this trend line, hit a high of $31.40 2 weeks ago. Last week, it got back up to a high of $30.37. And maybe it's going to try to test this trend line again. Let's see if it could hold it and maybe bounce back up. Oh, crap. Keep that trend line where it was. And maybe bounce back up. And if it does, we'll get hopefully a breakout. And let's just look at what our levels could be if that breakout were to happen. First high looking left is 34.19, which I believe I have 300 shares of this. So I'm only looking really for $1,000 profit on every trade, not a lot. So that would mean about $3 to $4 profit. I'm in at like $29.89, so that's $33.89. So this would be the first profit target, right? If it breaks this 34 level. If it breaks this 34 level, next high looking left is 40. That was my original entry, about 41 exactly. And then next high looking left after that is 41.76, 42.45. So you can see it has this whole trend line worth of resistance levels to kind of like play against. But something to keep in mind with this stock is that it's pretty low float for its price, and it's also pretty heavily shorted, right? I think it's one of the most shorted stocks in the market, and they have good news coming, right? They have this huge contract with Walmart. They are changing up their board of directors, so they're making strategic moves in the right direction. So I think it's just a matter of time before they release some good news, and the market is primed for it, ready for it, and we could see a good squeeze. And if that happens, stand to make a decent profit. So that's kind of my spiel on SYM. We looked at GME. I'll take a look at one more just because this one kind of just popped on my radar again, and I do have a small position in it. I say small, it's really, I think it's like a 2,000 share position. 2,000 shares at like $4 or something, so it's actually a pretty big position considering. This was my original profit target, but again, what I noticed here that I thought was interesting is that it's been kind of popping up the past couple weeks, right? Week after week since the beginning of June, new high, right? Last week was the first week in a month it didn't make a new high, but it sure as hell tried. Looking at a high of 2.4 right now. If it breaks back through that 2.4, the next high looking left would be 242, 270, 340, 355, 403, 403, and what's this last one here? 520. So it's got a ways to go. Again, a pretty heavily shorted stock, high short interest, very low float. So again, all it really needs is some good news and the right conditions for people to be looking at it. I do think people are still looking at it, just judging from this kind of influx of momentum and volume coming into it the past month. Price target raised to $11 by Intrusion. So, by Ascendiant Capital. So, yeah, this thing could have a move. It's move primed in it, and again, if it does, we're looking at a pretty decent shoot. If it went to 11, you're talking about, I have a cost basis of like $4, so that's like a $7 profit. I doubt it'll go up that high, but if it were, it's $2,000 per dollar of profit. So kind of the risk reward I'm looking at here. Anyways, that's kind of my spiel on INTZ. I've gone on long enough about my holdings. What are you guys trading? Please let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all next time.